Hello and welcome to my channel. I know it's been a while, but I've been really busy revamping a lot of my material and just organizing my life really. And now I'm back. So today's video is going to be a detailed video about my meal planning and how I came up with it, why I chose to do a rotating menu, along with some other tips and advice and lessons learned from my whole meal planning journey. So stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram or Facebook. You'll know that I have been cooking way more often than I used to, and I have been following a meal guide that I created. So my meal planning guide is really simple. It is a 5-week guide, and it has different things on it like Caribbean and Italian and Thai, home takeout, which is like, my husband and I will buy like DiGiorno's or DiGiorno pizzas, or we'll buy or make like carry out meals like beef and broccoli and things like that. So or we'll do subs. We haven't really done them as much, but we also have a Greek spot that we really like to go to. So I've done gyros quite often, and they have turned out bomb. So also along with that, if you look closely, I have, let me see, where is it? Like, one of my Sunday meals is called 1407, and that means it's just a recipe from my mom's house where I grew up. And so I like to just incorporate different things, and I wanted our meals to have variety, because for a while we were eating out quite a bit. Not only were we eating out quite a bit, when we were cooking, it would always be chicken breast, couscous, mixed vegetables. That was like what we would have when we would cook. And for my husband, I know, because he let me know that that was not something that he could take anymore. And I could agree. I got tired of cooking it as well. So I sat down one day and I decided that, you know what, enough is enough. Let me go ahead and really put some thought and work into this. So at my job, for our children, I work with children. So for our kids, we have a rotating 5-week menu. But with theirs, it's the same meals not every week, but like week 1 of March will be the same for week 1 in April. It'll be the same exact thing. Week 4 would be the same thing from January, February to March. So I knew that I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to have the same several meals, because like I said, with the chicken rice or chicken couscous and vegetables, it got old. So I decided to put together this 5-week rotating menu of different cultured foods. So that's how I came up with vegan meals, French meals, Italian meals. And it's so funny because just today, for lunch we had leftovers. I made a crock pot lasagna last night, and it was bomb. It was my first time using the crock pot. My husband is the crock pot king. So I just took a page from his book and I said, you know what? I was supposed to do this meal earlier in the week, but I just didn't. Me and the crock pot, up until last night, me and the crock pot, I was hesitant for whatever reason to use the crock pot. But after last night, I'm no longer hesitant. The lasagna came out bomb. And so we had leftovers for lunch when we got home. And I was telling my husband, I was like, we did really good this weekend, because the weekend is when we really and truly, now over the last 3 weeks, the weekend has really been when we eat out the most. So this weekend we did not eat out at all. Friday night, my husband made some bomb tacos. Last night I did lasagna, and today he's gonna make some burgers. So, which his burgers are amazing. So I'm looking forward to it. But while we were talking, he said that I mentioned that we didn't eat out at all this weekend, and he was like, yeah, and we've been to like 5 different countries or whatever. And I asked him, did he like having the variety in his meals like that? And he absolutely does, and it gives me something to look forward to when I come home. Now, that's why I did a rotating menu, because it's easy, and then also that's how I decided what went into my menu, because I wanted to make sure that we're not always eating chicken. And if you look on my Instagram or my Facebook, you'll see that I meal prep today for the week, at least for dinner anyway. And we're having a lot of chicken this week, but we're also having shrimp in there. So we don't really have we're supposed to have a vegetarian meal on Friday, but I might throw some salmon in there because it just holds us a lot better. We just haven't made that transition. But the vegetarian and vegan meals that I have made have been delicious. It just hasn't been enough. So until I learn how to make more of the vegetarian and vegan meals, I think there will be times that I do add the meat in there just to make it have a little more substance. But adding variety is exactly why I decided to create a 5-week rotating menu the way that I did. And it always gives us something to look forward to. So my lessons in over the last 3 weeks have been, let me see. So this week is going into week 4 of doing the meal planning. But we're going into week 3 of the month. And so I've been doing this. This will be my 4th week doing this. And like I said, I've enjoyed it. But some of my lessons that I have learned, is to prep. Like, it's great having the meals and knowing what I'm going to cook on what day. And even if it doesn't work out, I can kind of switch them or push them if something came up. Last week I had a CPR training, so I didn't get home till like 9 o'clock, but luckily I had prepped that morning, and that was when it really clicked that, okay, prepping is definitely a necessity, because you never know what might come up or what you may need to do in your day that'll take longer than necessary. So I was just thankful that day that I had prepped. So when I came home, even though it was late, and that's not ideal, again, this is a journey, so some things will happen like that. But I said I hadn't eaten all day because I was looking forward to making that meal. So I said to myself, we're going to do this. So I just went in the kitchen and I put it in a pot and let it do its thing. And then I put everything together and we had a meal, and it was plated in 20 minutes flat from the time I got home. So aside from eating late, which again is not ideal, it did get done. And I was very pleased with myself. So now, since that day, I've really been taking prepping more seriously. And so today, that's what I did when we came home from the grocery store. Before I sat down, before I did anything else, I did all my meats for the week except for the shrimp, because I don't want the shrimp just sitting there in the refrigerator until I think Wednesday or Tuesday, whichever day it is. So if it's on Tuesday, I have to look back at my meal prep that I actually wrote down for the week. This is just my guide, so some things do tend to switch up. But what I wrote down for the week, I have to go back and look. So if we're having shrimp scampi on Tuesday, then what I'm going to do tomorrow when I get home, being that it is my early day and dinner for tomorrow is pretty much prepped, then I'm just going to prep the shrimp while I actually cook the meal for Monday night. So it's really simple, and I don't really need to do as much, and I won't find myself in the kitchen as long. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this week's prepping goes. Another lesson that I learned is to buy in bulk. I have not gotten to that point where I can really buy in bulk. And it's just because I haven't taken the time to sit down and say, you know what, I'm going to go to Sam's. this week and this is what I'm going to get, and to really check out what the price difference is and really be prepared to make that move. So that is the only downfall of that lesson learned, is that I have not been able to implement anything of buying in bulk right now. But what I did today was I bought plenty of chicken because I knew that we were going to be having quite a bit of chicken this week, and then we have enough to take us into the weekend or for next week. To start off the week, I know that there's chicken in the freezer now, so that next week when it comes to buying groceries, then I know that I won't at least have to buy as much chicken if I need it, because there's an overflow. Another thing about buying in bulk that I haven't really wrapped my head around is the seasonings. We have a ton of seasonings, but they're the little kind, and they have been, because our dishes have variety, we haven't necessarily needed them all or gone through them all. So it's been okay. But my grandmother, she sent me months back, she sent me or sent us some seasonings, because my husband does cook as well. Big Costco size seasonings. So those are still there. My mom bought us seasonings for Christmas, so they've been really helping stock our kitchen, and that has just been a blessing. But one thing I do want to do is, when we do go to Sam's, I want to, I say Sam's because that's where we have a membership, no shade to Costco or anything, but, or BJ's, though I do want to try BJ's. Sorry. I do want to purchase the bigger things of seasoning so that we don't go through them as quickly, and I don't have to buy them when we grocery shop. So that will, make our budget, that will lessen our budget. So that's another thing I want to talk to you guys about. I took these last 4 weeks, and I have just gone grocery shopping every Saturday or Sunday, because honestly, because we weren't cooking, we didn't have a whole lot in the refrigerator to really make a meal on a regular basis and have everything we need on hand. So a lot of things we do purchase, a lot of things we have been purchasing on that weekly grocery trip. And so what I've noticed is we've been spending about $100 or more on groceries for the week. So now I know we spend about $400, I'll say about $420 in groceries for a month. Now that I know that, for the month of April, I can start to plan to buy in bulk, freeze those meats or meals, even do frozen meals for the crock pot, and do it like that. Like I said, this is a journey, and so these are things I'm learning as I go. I know my mom, as well as many other moms, this is not necessarily how they did their grocery shopping and counted for their meals and things like that. So this is not something I saw growing up, and I'm just making it my thing. It's what I like to do. I really have enjoyed cooking now that I'm not just cooking certain things, and my plates or our plates are more comfortable. Not comfortable. Our plates are more colorful. They give us something to look forward to. I'm trying something new each week, and I just love it. So if you haven't checked out my Instagram, check out my Instagram. My Facebook like page is also Natural Housewife, and just see what I've been putting up. And if you have any suggestions or you like what you see, please do like it, and then comment and let me know, if there's things that I can add or things that I could tweak. I always love good advice, so don't be shy. Join me on Natural Housewife, and let's take this journey together. How I do my grocery shopping. Let's talk about that. I do my grocery shopping I make my list. I go through each recipe as I pull it. I go through each recipe and I look at what seasonings I already have, what produce I already have, and if I don't need it, I don't write it. So when I go to the grocery store, whatever is on my sheet is everything that I need, and I don't buy more or don't forget anything that I might need to make something. So there are times at the grocery store where I will see something and be like, you know what, I know I will need that and I can add it and then we can have it on hand, and that works just as well. So that's how I do my grocery shopping. It's very simple. And my favorite grocery store so far has been Harris Teeter because there are fresher foods and they're just more of what I'm looking for. When I go to Food Line, I don't find as much. I don't find the variety. And like I said, because I've been cooking different types of meals, everything that I need isn't at Food Line. I guess I'm not your basic cook anymore. I'm not a chef either. I'm not saying I'm a chef. I am just saying I've graduated from cooking sometimes to cooking all the time and adding variety. That's all I'm saying. So now the things that I need for the meals that I prepare, I can find more of those items at Harris Teeter. And not only that, they just have a good variety of items. Like their Asian section, I think that's what it's called, is to die for. They have so many different ingredients, and I just got lost just looking through and seeing things that I'm like, oh, well, I know I can create a meal out of this, this, and this. Not that I bought it because I didn't need to, but they just go into Harris Teeter and look for yourself if you haven't already. That's all I'm saying. And no shade to Food Line because that's where I went today. I didn't have to get as much and I knew everything I needed was there. So it's cool and it's like within walking distance. I didn't walk though. But it's right around the corner, so it was easy when we came home from church to just go there and bring it on home. So it's all about your comfort zone, where you are in your cooking journey, where you are in your food journey, in your weight loss journey. Whatever reason you're cooking more now, or you want to cook more, wherever you're at in that journey, start with what you have, and then as you move forward in that journey, you will learn where your comfort zone is. You will learn what you prefer over what you don't prefer. So I'm going to close out with my Pinterest board. Every week, or throughout the week I should say, I update my Pinterest board. The Cooking Housewife, I have plenty of boards on my Pinterest, but the Cooking Housewife I update throughout the week, and I update those with meals that I felt like really hit the spot. So far, it's been almost all of the meals. I think there's like one or two I haven't put up there because they were just okay. They weren't anything to talk about. Some of the meals that are up there, I didn't necessarily put on my social media page or what have you, but if they're on that board, that means that they were delicious and we're adding them to our regimen, and we will use these recipes again, and we want to share them with you guys. So check me out on Pinterest. That's also Natural Housewife, and then Instagram is Natural Housewife, and my Facebook like page is Natural Housewife as well. I wanted to take the time to add this video to YouTube because I've already done it on Periscope, but as you know, Periscope only lasts for 24 hours. And I've gotten so many questions about, you know, how I do my menu, how I do my meals. So I thought that I thought that it would be a good idea to put a detailed video talking about how I do things, why I do things, the way that I do them when it comes to this meal planning journey, so that people can refer back to it as necessary. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'll see you later.